been a good few years. But taking us through that has been people joining our party. When I first stood to be the candidate here in 1995, I only had to knock on 273 doors because that was only the members we had. We've now got over 1,000 members. That is fantastic. And we had a first wave after the 2015 election when people joined because they were so cross that we had been treated so bad in the polls. And Sarah only joined, and a year or so later became an MP. So just watch it. But then we've had more, particularly on the back of the Brexit referendum, and people realising that the Liberal Democrats have a very clear, consistent and principled position on the issue of the day. But our politics are still deeply troubling. Brexit could still happen, and in ways which would be disastrous for our country and indeed our continent and the world. We could see our politics in Westminster going to the extreme left or the hard right, destroying a lot of the progress that's been made in our wonderful country over decades. That means there's an awful lot at stake. And I think why a lot of people are joining the Liberal Democrats is, yes, they want to stop Brexit, they want Britain to stay at the heart of Europe, working with our friends and neighbours for a peaceful, more prosperous world, but they are worried about where our country is at. And that is why we are so important. We have never been so important, in my view. And we need to grow as a party, yes, as members, but also as a party winning votes. And I'm still having to pinch myself because 4 months ago, we were still flatlining the polls at 7 to 8%. And thanks to new members, to activists, to councillors, to campaigners, thanks to a message of stop Brexit, particularly effective in Anglo-Saxon, we have seen a sea change in British politics. We had those amazing local election results around the country, where we made over 700 gains when we were originally predicting only 250, our best ever results. And then in the European elections at the end of May, our best ever European results. We topped the poll in London, which is why Siobhan Benita is going to be the next mayor. And just to put those European election results in context, it was the first time in over 100 years that we beat both the Tory and Labour Party in a UK-wide election. Our party now is back in the game, and it's thanks to all of us showing the courage of our convictions and coming to stand up for our country when it matters. But we've got a long way to go. We may have a new Prime Minister next week called Boris Johnson. I want a bit more. He is a shocking politician, and we should be deeply alarmed about that prospect. And in order to stop him ruining our country, we will have to work cross-party. We will work with Labour MPs, with pro-Remain Tory MPs, with the SNP, but we'll work with everybody to stop Brexit and stop Johnson. And you have that commitment from all the MPs in the Liberal Democrats. But we've got to do more than that. We've got to find a way to win a people's vote. And there are many ways that we can do that. I won't bore you with them all now. But we absolutely have to get that democratic legitimacy to turn around this nightmare of Brexit. And we are committed to doing that. But there's another prospect that I'm excited about, that I hope you will be excited about, and then you'll join in and sign up on those sheets and come and enjoy and have the fun of campaigning, because it can be fun. We occasionally go to the pub afterwards, but not always. And it's this: we actually can win the next general election. And if you want to challenge that, because when we say that, people, particularly to journalists, they look at you as if they've gone completely bonkers. But at the moment, there's effectively a four-way split in British politics, with four parties in the early 20s. and with the right of British politics split between Brexit and the Conservatives. Now, if that continues, it will take only a little advance for us to get to 30% when we become the largest party, and don't just win 50 or 60 seats, but win 260 to nearly 300 seats. That would be a dramatic change in British politics. It would enable us to change our rotten political system and make sure things like Brexit don't happen again. That means there's a huge amount at stake. Now, you might also know that not only is a new leader of the Tory party being chosen next week, but a new leader of the Liberal Democrats. Now, I'm really proud about how Joe Swinson and I have conducted the campaign.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If Joe was here, we'd be smiling at each other and shaking hands because we are friends and we don't disagree on very much. And when the journalists say, isn't that dreadful, we say, no, it's good. It actually shows how our party is united. Obviously, I prefer to win next week. I'd like to bring my ideas, my vision, whether it's on stopping Brexit, but also tackling the causes of Brexit, the inequality in our country, the fact that so many communities have been left behind by our prosperity, which is a stain on our economy and our country, actually. We've got to heal the wounds of Brexit if we're going to move on as a country. And we, as the most pro-Remain party, have to reach out to Leave voters and Leave communities. They are our friends. They are our brothers and sisters. They are countrymen and countrywomen. And we, as the pro-Remain party, have to show that we care about them as much as anybody else. But we've got to do more than that. We've also got to approach the biggest crisis in our world, which is the climate crisis. It's been wonderful that young people have been going on climate strike. The Extinction Rebellion protesters have shown an interesting way of going about this, particularly the ones who came and were nudists in the House of Commons. All we said is they had a lot of bottom. But what they were showing is that actually talking about the environment and being brave to tackle climate change is something that can actually be popular. That people want a party to say the things that others haven't said, and we must say those. And my final pitch, in terms of what the vision I hope the party will get behind, is the need to invest in our children and our young people. We have to be a party of the future, thinking about our society, how we can make it more prosperous, but also how we can make it fairer, so every child and young person has an equal opportunity in their life. That is our commitment as a progressive liberal party. And that means we need to have a vision about our education system. I've talked about having a vision that we could be the best educated and trained country in the world in a decade. You know, we've been celebrating, is it 50 years of putting a man on the moon, when JFK at the beginning of the 1960s says we'll put a man on the moon. Well, that was a vision and mission, but what a better vision and mission to say we'll be the best educated country in the world and get all our resources behind that. That's the sort of ambition that our party should have for our country. Let me end though in saying that as we try to get that over to the British people, to show that we've got the courage to stop Brexit, we will only do it as a strong, principled, united party campaigning together. And the way we've run campaigns here, back in 1997, when we weren't a target seat, when we won by 56 votes after 3 recounts, there are a few people who remember that. We did it by having fun. And we did it because we had a great family of Liberal Democrat members here. You've joined that family. I hope you're going to enjoy us, enjoy being part of us, have that fun, come campaigning, and above all, let's really win. Let's win for Kingston, let's win for the country.
I'm advised by the council that came in at 2:15, so And then also it's 15 seconds at some